My baby's stroller was racing toward traffic while my husband was chatting with neighbors now. I'm haunted by what could have happened and unsure if happened if I can ever trust him again. I'm 25F, been with my husband, 30M, since 2018. We have a 3-year-old girl and a newborn boy. But tonight, things almost took a turn for the worse. My husband has always had trouble paying attention, but I never thought it would come to this. Our neighborhood is weirdly laid out, with cars zooming by at crazy speeds at all hours off the day I was folding clothes when I heard our toddler screaming, "Dad, help." That tone made me drop everything and sprint outside. What I saw made my blood run cold, our newborn in his stroller, careening towards the busy street. I screamed and ran to him, barely stopping the stroller in time. My baby girl's hands and knees were scratched up because she tripped trying to run after the stroller. I snatched up my baby, heart pounding, and scanned for my husband. He wasn't watching, he was chatting with neighbors, completely oblivious. The anger I felt was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I stormed up to him, shouting in disbelief. He looked shocked at first, then realized what almost happened. The apologies and tears came pouring out, but it was too late. I couldn't wrap my head around how he could be so careless, so blind to our toddler's screams and the stroller rolling away. I packed up the kids and left, staying with my parents. They're on my side, but my husband keeps texting, begging forgiveness, calling it an honest mistake. But I can't shake the terror of almost losing my baby because he couldn't focus for a single second. My baby girl got hurt in the process because he couldn't pay attention. I almost lost my son because he couldn't pay attention. I can't stop crying. I feel so guilty. I wish this all never happened. Sorry, it's short. I just want to hold my babies and I can't stop shaking every time I think about it. What if I was just 1 second late? Would I have been planning a funeral? And the reason I left the house instead of him was because I hate that house. I don't feel like it's safe for the kids with all the traffic in. I was right, it's my husband's work house. I can't be running either. I had a C-section less 6 weeks ago. A lot of people are saying, why wasn't I watching the kids? I was doing their laundry like a parent. Does he take them for walks to have bonding time with them? He literally created this by himself. This has never happened before. How was I supposed to know? And people saying, why didn't I him checked out? I'm not his mother. He is 30 years old. I'm sick of people acting like I have to parent my own husband while I literally have a newborn, a toddler, and I'm still healing from a C-section that I teared my stitches from when I ran to get my baby. I don't care if it was his ADHD. The court wouldn't care either. If he killed my child, he would have went to prison either way. Update 11 hours later. The neighbor's wife sent me the footage and I really can't just wrap my head around it. So my husband was walking with the stroller and my toddler was in front of them when they passed the neighbor's house. My neighbor was outside washing his car and my toddler saw his pet cat and stopped to go pet it, so my husband stopped. Left my baby on the road. He didn't even bother locking the wheels and walked all the way up the driveway, not even bothering looking back at the baby he had his back face to him for. About 5 minutes before the stroller just suddenly started moving. I think it's because the road is on a hill kinda, or it could have been the wind. My toddler never went near the stroller. It couldn't been her. The stroller went down the road and my toddler. That's when she started screaming and running for it when she saw it. The neighbor started running after my daughter when she tripped. He tried to pick her up. That's when the neighbor's wife's car comes into frame and she stops in. Starts running back to the way the stroller is coming after that. You can't really see anything because it's all out of frame. But you can hear all the commotion. My husband just stood there the whole time, hand on his head with a blank stare on his face. He didn't even do anything when our toddler was crying. From hurting herself, he only started crying when I confronted him. What do? I genuinely do not know what to do. I'm panicking. This was never the life I wanted for my kids. I don't understand why he was standing there. I have not even gotten a text or a call from him since I got sent the video. It's just been silent. I just can't get the sound of my daughter's screams. That's the sound that no mother wants to hear. I can't explain in the moment, but it felt like my blood went cold. And I just felt pure fear. I never want to watch the footage again. My fiancé wants to become a traditional wife after our wedding. And I want to call off the I am a 29 male and my fiancé is a 27-year-old female named Kate. I am using a throwaway account because Kate, not her real name, is an avid Reddit user, and I feel I am in a major dilemma that concerns her, specifically our future together. I have been with Kate for 4 years, engaged for 1, and due to get married this coming July. I do love Kate and can't wait to spend the rest of my life with her. But lately she has been becoming serious about becoming a trad wife after getting married, and I'm having a hard time getting on board. A bit of background of our lifestyle: we live in a major city and in an overall call area. I earn an average salary working in accounts. She earns an okay salary as a full-time store manager for a popular clothing chain. Together, we earn enough to pay rent for a small flat, pay the bills, and have a small amount left over for some small luxuries, takeout, going to the movies, etc. It takes forever for us to make substantial savings, most of which are going to this wedding, but we are doing okay. But that is with 2 incomes. While I do earn more than her, it's not megabucks more, and if we drop to just 1 income, presumably mine, we would just be surviving. True, her salary isn't anything glamorous, but it's enough to help pay the bills and add to the savings pot. In the area we live, it will tough if we lose her income. Now for the issue. Shortly after New Year's, Kate and I were just chilling out on the couch after a work day when Kate brought up post-wedding life and mentioned the idea of becoming a tradwife after marriage. I had never heard of this before and asked her what that was. She explained that it meant traditional wife, and it was a wife that stayed home, looked after the household chores including cleaning and cleaning, and more importantly looked after the husband by attending to his needs. I said that sounded like a housewife, and she said it was more than just a normal housewife, because a tradwife does everything herself to look after the home and husband without any paid work. This still sounds like a housewife to me, but whatever. I was thrown off guard by this, as Kate has never shown any desire of just staying at home before. The only time it was discussed was in relation to kids, which she said she was happy being a stay-at-home mom for when our kids were young, because on her salary we'd probably be paying more for childcare anyway. More to the point, the idea of her just staying home all day cleaning and cooking is a bit strange to me when we live in such a small place. Between the two of us, we can clean the whole flat in half a day. It takes me about half an hour to vacuum and mop all floors, for example. When I self-processed that, I thought she was joking, but she was dead serious. I was then very surprised and asked her what made her suddenly desire to just stay at home and not work. To my shock, she said, TikTok of all things. Apparently there's videos and TikTokers that are these tradwives that talk about how great the lifestyle is and how happy their marriages are. These tradwives claim their husbands are always happy and home life is the best. So, Kate wants that for us too. I told her that it wouldn't make me happy. It makes no sense. We live in a small flat that requires little upkeep. We have no kids for her to stay at home with. And most importantly, we can't afford it. Again, I understand her income isn't great, but it isn't pitiful, and it does help maintain our current lifestyle, which isn't that glamorous to begin with. She gave a non-committal shrug, and I thought that was the end of it. Nope, she approached me again a few days later with the idea. I told her that I was against it. I tried to pry more about why she suddenly wanted to be a tradwife, but she just kept banging on about TikTok, and how she really does feel that her staying home would be the best thing for our marriage. I again reiterated the reasons why I thought it was a bad idea and do not support it. She keeps bringing it up. Now, it seems she adamant. I can't get anything more out of her apart from the whole TikTok says it's good for our marriage. I watched some of those TikTok videos, and I'm sorry, but they come across as really creepy. There is this one blonde lady who I swear is one microchip away from going full Stepford wife. I have no problems with housewives in terms of if you live in a huge house and you really can live on one income, but that is not the case for us. More to the point, a housewife seems to be doing something outside the home, doing volunteer work, being a part of a club or society to fill the time. These tradewives seem do nothing but dress like Lucille Ball and cook bread from scratch. It's bizarre, and not something I'm looking for in a long-term partner. Kate cannot seem to let this go, and she's become a bit obsessed. She's starting to learn new recipes for her new married life as a tradwife, but keeps complaining that she doesn't have time to feed us both properly as a new family because of her job. I told her to do these fancy things on the weekend, but she just shot back she should have all the time. She keeps following these TikTokers and is starting to get new clothes more fitting for a tradwife lifestyle. I don't know how much I can tell Kate how much I am against this, and it's falling on deaf ears. As a result, I am seriously reconsidering our relationship. Kate has always worked, and while I don't expect her to be a ball-busting career woman, I don't want this as an alternative. I want an equal partner, and this tradwife thing doesn't seem equal. It seems creepy and finished in the 1950s for a reason. Should I call it the wedding? I am honestly at lost what to do. Kate seems committed to doing this tradwife thing, and I am just not. My best mate tells me now that I've reached the point of not wanting to get married anymore, that I at least need to really sit down with Kate, tell her straight up where my head is at, but I've tried to talk to her before and she doesn't budge. Any help would be appreciated.